Hey guys, Sean here, and I hope you can hear me for this review because it's a very emotional one, and it's not going to be a review in the typical style of my reviews, part commentary and part critical analysis. I've seen a film today that has made me extremely sort of on edge and anxious and nervous and excited and powerfully moved. That film being Tom Hooper's Les Miserables, an adaptation of the Victor Hugo novel, which then became a very famous Cameron Mackintosh storybook with music and lyrics by Alan Boublil and Jean-Marc, another man's name that ends with an N. I'm so sorry to forget that. I did want to say, though, that Les Miserables is a film that in my childhood has played a very significant role, not only in my becoming a film critic, but also in my attention to cinema, musical theater, and the arts and popular culture in general. As a young child, when I was getting into music and celebrating the Hollywood industry, which my father and mother have both been involved in for a long time, I wanted to see works that create an intense system of movement in the heart and also kinetically on the screen. This includes films by people like Milos Forman or Stanley Kubrick, where kinetic energy and kinesis of the visual spectra are really what get you working. Now, the modern filmmakers who are able to do things like this with their visual images are Spielberg, Scorsese, or even more recently, people like the Wachowskis or Tom Tykwer or David O. Russell, whose camera moves with people's emotions. However, Tom Hooper, who won an Oscar as Best Director of The King's Speech 2 years ago, in addition to that film winning the Best Picture award, has here made what I believe is a masterpiece, a virtuosic reinterpretation of the Les Miserables play and musical that is one of the most celebrated musicals of all time. Now, I can't really do anything about this cowlick, and I'm sorry to have it in your face as I'm doing this review, but I wanted to let you know that Les Miserables, starting from the ground up in its performances and working through its behind-the-line action, is one of the best movies, not just this year, but one of the best musicals in the history of the art form. By representing the film through techniques of editing and cinematography that follow the actor, just as the eye would on a stage, in which they're limited choreographically to only so much length. The role is most famous for being originated by Colm Wilkinson in London, and Wilkinson himself makes an appearance as a pastor in this film set in the second version of the French Revolution. After 1789, when the French Revolution happened, Napoleon Bonaparte soon came to power, and after Napoleon and his deposition in 1814, rebellion once again set in, and social rebellion, although it was not a significant success, does seem to have had a major impact on rebel initiative all around the world and guerrilla warfare against the state. The French Revolution, the second one that is here represented by the character Marius, played by Eddie Redmayne. In the future, several years after we discover our actual protagonist, who is Jean Valjean, here interpreted by Hugh Jackman in what is easily Jackman's best performance in his entire career. Now, we rely on Jackman and know that he is a Broadway-trained and Australian theater actor. We know that he is a capable man, a hunk, very handsome, able to fit the big screen well. The screen loves him, and he's a major, major star. However, he's never been taken seriously in a dramatic role in a very big way. Certain roles that he's taken that have been dramas or action, for example his role as Wolverine in the X-Men series, has definitely given him street cred as a dramatic actor. However, his performance here, which requires him to stand and let the camera worship his visage in makeup that makes Jean Valjean look like the criminal he is 19 years before the actual beginning of the Second Revolution, and in the future when he is a more handsome man steadily acquiring tuberculosis and basically watching the Second Revolution fail. Now, Jackman's performance here as Valjean is startling, and it is one of the best performances of the year, and certainly the best, most emotional performance in a musical since Catherine Zeta-Jones or John C. Reilly's performances in Chicago in 2002. Now, that film was directed by Rob Marshall with pizzazz, brightness, excitement, and a period intensity that Tom Hooper replicates here with Les Miserables. The film is a period piece, and much of its drama, which follows Valjean as he escapes his parole from jail, starts to redo his life as Monsieur le Maire, a business owner and part-time mayoral political bureaucrat. his emergence into the bourgeois society, as the bourgeois society is being more and more frowned upon, takes the period drama that Chicago never could really get because of all its glitz and glamour, and throws the same authenticity that Hooper put into The King's Speech into Les Miserables. Jackman is here co-starring against his captor, former captor, Javert, a prison guard and general of the army played by Russell Crowe, in again a startling performance for the New Zealand-born actor. Now, we don't know that he can sing, and there was a lot of controversy about his ability to sing, though he has been in bands for much of his life. And Crowe as Javert and Jackman as Jean Valjean are the perfect fits for one another. As their cat-and-mouse game takes them across the Parisian landscape over the course of 30 years, it's really sensational to watch these two actors grow into roles in which one strong man fights another strong man, their two mutual integrities bouncing off each other as they threaten to kill one another, get into battles, and especially in the case of Russell Crowe, suffer under the weight of this game that they're playing. Now, Javert and Jean Valjean are the two main male characters. However, early on there is Fantine, a prostitute who used to work for the renewed Jean Valjean, and who dies under his care. She's interpreted by Anne Hathaway here, who we know can sing from her performance in the Oscars, but who here deserves the Best Supporting Actress Oscar. She is perfect in the role. I don't know what to say except that her performance, crying as she sings I Dreamed a Dream, and interprets the song more beautifully than anyone has since Susan Boyle sang it on Britain's Got Talent, is heartbreaking and revealing, and it's the best performance of her young career. She's a young woman, a young actress, and deserves all the accolades that are coming her way. She is truly astounding as Fantine. Though Fantine dies and her daughter Cosette becomes the main gal in Jean Valjean's life, and in her later life is played by Amanda Seyfried in a strong performance against Marius, who I already mentioned, the two of them being lovers in the middle of the revolutionary period in 1832, I believe is the exact year, in Paris. Now, Redmayne's performance here, again, is a star-making performance, better than anything he's ever done, including The Good Shepherd, last year's My Week with Marilyn, or any of the other films in which he's had his up-and-coming roles. Against Seyfried, the two of them are so sublimely beautiful, they're almost angelic, and Hooper is careful to use cinematic close-ups that somehow feel theatrical because he takes a very intense, wide-angle lens close-up, almost a choker close-up, which in the film noir style would be insulting, dangerous, frightening, or even disturbing. He uses techniques that film noir do recycle, for example, the Hitchcockian canted angle, that would be that. And he also uses, oh, I'm sorry, the review almost fell over. He also uses these choker close-ups to isolate the actors and create a visual spectrum that only their face can interpret. The choreography is just as much cinematographic and facial as it is physical. There are dancing scenes and there are ensemble scenes that make Les Miserables easily the best cast and the best collection of extras in the year. The only film that comes close in terms of period accuracy and the representation of people in a film tableau would be Steven Spielberg's Lincoln. However, Lincoln, which is a great film, does not quite accomplish what Hooper does with Les Miserables. In his interpretation of Second French Revolutionary period in 1832, 1824, and with these actors, he recreates with his magnificent tableau a scenario in the play which we have come to love and adore, and which I personally have become obsessed with through the incredible singing of Colm Wilkinson and the presentation of Cameron Mackintosh's playbook, and interprets it with period drama brilliance. The filmmaking that he used for The King's Speech comes to a fore here, and while I can't say that it's the best film that's been released in 2012, because I haven't seen Django Unchained, I haven't seen Zero Dark 30, which the New York Film Critics Society today, or the Film Critics Circle, named the best picture of 2012. I haven't seen Anna Karenina, Joe Wright's adaptation of the Leo Tolstoy novel, but I can say that it is the most accomplished musical and certainly bound to be my favorite film of 2012 and possibly for many years. It's a classic in the making, and Hooper's interpretation of the Les Miserables playbook and music has really fallen into the right hands. I hope you see Les Miserables, and I hope that you feel as emotionally touched and loving of the film and cherishing of it as a masterpiece physically, kinetically, and emotionally that I do. Thanks so much. See you next week.